There's been so much new information on Pikmin 4 in these past few days, so I thought I'd make a Pikmin 4 Pikmin tier list based on the information we have so far and make predictions as to how good or how bad the Pikmin are going to be. This should go without saying, but these are predictions and could be completely incorrect. The only way of truly knowing will be after the game releases. So let's get on to the video. To start things off, we'll start with the red Pikmin. We've already gotten a few clips of these guys in action, and the information on them simply states that they're fire resistant and a strong first line of attack. Nothing here comes as a surprise. They are likely to remain with all the same stats as they've had in previous games, so stuff such as the 1.5 times damage boost, and they're the best chance against anything fire related. I think it's safe to assume these guys will be B tier and balanced like they normally are. Moving on to blue Pikmin. Now, unlike the reds and a few others, we have yet to really see these guys do anything in the Pikmin 4 trailers. So they're going to remain with their water resistance, which we know from the website, and they're likely going to have standard damage. Now, the problem with the blue Pikmin comes with ice Pikmin, wing Pikmin, and even Oatchi, since all of these three appear to invalidate water, which is the blue Pikmin's biggest use case. Of course, we still have little information, so there could be other use cases for blue Pikmin, like water enemies and other hazards, but I'm guessing these guys will probably be C tier, maybe even D tier if they're just completely invalidated. I don't have the heart to put them in D tier, so we'll leave them in C for now. Next up is the yellow Pikmin. These guys have been shown a little bit more than the blues. You can see that their throw height is still the best. They still deal with electricity and are the best diggers. The controls for Pikmin 4 appear to be using the same controls as in Pikmin 3, so they will likely also have the best throw distance. We're yet to see how dangerous electricity is going to be in this game. If it remains like it was in the third game, then yellows are likely going to sit in B tier. However, I can see moving them up if electricity is very dangerous like it was in the second game, or at least just a little bit more dangerous. Ice Pikmin are one of the new types shown, so these are going to be the most difficult to make predictions on. Let's make one with the information we have. Ice Pikmin can freeze enemies and can also freeze water. It isn't 100% confirmed, but Ice Pikmin appear to only freeze enemies when they're eaten, as we can see in the first Nintendo Direct trailer for Pikmin 4. Using the same clip, you can also see that their damage isn't as good as red Pikmin's, meaning they likely just have the base 1 times damage. The other thing we don't know is if Ice Pikmin can freeze certain areas of water, or if they can freeze any area of water. I'm guessing they'll only be able to freeze small bodies of water and not huge entire lakes. All things considered, freezing an enemy upon being eaten is like a mix of the white Pikmin's ability, who has that when he's eaten, and a mix of the purple's stun ability. That being said, it's a weaker version of either of these. The freezing is useful, but it doesn't deal flat out damage like poison did, and the stun, you need to lose a Pikmin in order for the stun to happen. The freezing water is useful, but the ice Pikmin will remain there, meaning that they won't be able to do anything while the water is frozen. So it's useful, but also has its drawbacks. With the information we have on them so far, they don't appear to be super great, but they don't appear to be bad either. I'm guessing a B tier for these guys. This could and probably will change in the future, but this is good for now. Next, we have the newest Pikmin shown, the Glow Pikmin. Glow Pikmin are interesting from everything we can tell. They're the only Pikmin that appear to be usable at night. This leads me to a few potential conclusions about their hazard immunities. Either there will not be any hazards at night, like no fire, water, poison, electricity, so Glow Pikmin won't need hazard immunity, or there will be hazards at night. Hazards at night makes the most sense, because the maps will probably be the same ones that we have in the day. Meaning, one of two things. If Glow Pikmin aren't immune to anything, then nighttime is going to be extremely brutal and difficult, because there's going to be a bunch of hazards, and Glow Pikmin are just going to get damaged by everything. I highly doubt this is the case, which leads to my second option. Glow Pikmin will probably be immune to everything. Your captains can still take damage from hazards, unless you have upgrades that give you resistance to these, but this makes nighttime way easier and, in my opinion, more fair. Glow Pikmin also float. Their damage looks to be a 0.5 times damage multiplier, just like the wing Pikmin, and they have a stun feature, which appears to happen when they turn into a ball of light, which is what they do for their charged attack, which we've seen in the trailer. With their low damage, a stun before their charged attack, and the possibility of them being immune to everything, I would like to put Glow Pikmin in A tier. Now again, this can change, especially if they don't have that damage resistance. I guess time will tell. And the moment we've all been waiting for, the purple Pikmin. I'm going to start this off by putting them in S tier. Yes, I want to do it. I know you want me to put them in S tier. Now let me explain. We haven't seen these guys in action yet, but the website gives some major information. Purple Pikmin will remain with their 10 times strength, and because of this extra oomph, Purple Pikmin can stun enemies when thrown. That means that Purple Pikmin stun is back. It is no longer removed like it was in Pikmin 3. Now the duration, stacking of stuns, and percent chance is obviously unknown. But just being able to stun for the Purple Pikmin is huge. This combined with something else that people are talking about, and it's the fact that the website mentions that you can only have 3 Pikmin types at a time. And in every single clip we've seen, there are only 3 Pikmin types with the player. It now makes sense if purples would be very strong. I mean, think about it. You can only have 3 Pikmin types. Bringing purples means bringing the power, but it also means you have less hazard coverage. There are a few other unknowns about purples, like if they can weigh down enemies like they did in the second game, or if they aren't able to, like in the third. Also, if they'll have 2 times damage or 1.5 times damage. I'm willing to guess that they're probably going to have 1.5 times damage, a powerful stun, weighing down enemies. We already know that they have 10 times strength, and they are going to be a bit slower. With that and their 0 hazard immunity, and only being able to bring 3 Pikmin at a time, this makes sense. And this would firmly place Purple Pikmin as the best battlers. Hopeful, I know, but I want to keep the dream of the OP purples alive, so let's do it. Right after we have Rock Pikmin. These guys are probably going to remain the same as from Pikmin 3, although they're probably going to have better AI. They are going to be unbreakable, which means they can't get crushed or stabbed like in the previous game. They'll also be able to break crystals. They will probably have the same combat, where they deal high damage with their impact, but can't latch on. The better AI that I mentioned earlier means that when they break something, they'll probably retrieve the items inside. Like if you use them to get a pellet, they will actually pick up the pellet and not just break the flower and then just stand there, which is what they often did in the third game. With all that being said, they're probably going to be an A tier and just solid choices overall. Winged Pikmin are up next, and just like the rocks, these are unlikely to be changed. They can still carry stuff over water and lift obstructions, they are good at fighting flying enemies, and they will probably have the 0.5 damage like in the previous game. There isn't much else to say, they're just going to be a solid choice, very efficient, not the strongest for combat, but still an A tier. And for the final Pikmin, we have the White Pikmin. No real footage for these guys shown yet. We do know that they're going to be quick and poisonous. They can also take out toxic environments, which means that poison is going to be a hazard again. This already makes them better than in Pikmin 3, since Pikmin 3 had no poison, which means they now have more usability. It doesn't mention them being able to dig up stuff that is completely underground. Their strength is also unknown. If they are as fast as they were in Pikmin 2, and have a 1-time strength multiplier, not a 0.5, I can see them being an A tier, or a high B. But because of the potential low damage and possibly being slightly slower like they were in Pikmin 3, I'm just going to put them in B tier for now instead of A. You could argue maybe even C tier, but we'll leave them in B for now. Well, with that, the Pikmin are out of the way, but let's quickly go over the miscellaneous. If Bulbmin are back for the game, they'll be S tier. Resistant to everything, combined with basic damage and basic movement, makes them super solid. They probably can't leave caves, just like in the second game, but will be good for converting Pikmin. Moving on to Oatchi. Oatchi's damage appears to be 1.5, maybe even higher in the video. He's also able to swim and dig. Now digging likely means regular digging, and not stuff that's completely buried, but we don't know. We do know that you can upgrade Oatchi, increasing his damage and heal. The heal is probably a self-heal over time, rather than healing other players or Pikmin. And some other things that weren't shown, as the scroll bar, you can see it goes further down, but they didn't scroll. These are other upgrades which are likely resistance to hazards or even cool abilities. Maybe even Oatchi will be able to command Pikmin, who knows? With all of this, I think it's safe to assume Oatchi will be an S tier, especially once you get him with all his upgrades. And as a bonus, I'll put Puffmin in D tier if they get added. There you have it. These are my predictions for Pikmin 4 Pikmin tier list. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions as well. Until next time.